Morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob, and just wanted to create a video this morning. So today is October 25th, and there is a lot of oil news coming out today. So typically, I do not trade these days with my inside bar two-session morning strategy. With that being said, um, I am gonna test this out here today, and let's see how the trades how they materialize. With that much news, and I'll kind of give you my reasoning behind it. Let's go to the intro. All right, as always, nothing I say on this channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of financial markets is risky business, and I'm here for pure entertainment purposes and to um, try to show you guys my strategies and the trades that I take um, each morning. So as I mentioned, we are in a pretty big oil red news day. So, if you watched my earlier video, or if you watch my video on the trade setup, you will have noticed that I say that I do not trade those days. I have back tested them. They do seem to work more than they lose, but it's like a 50, it's very close to a 50-50 win rate, 50% win rate. So again, not something that that's something that truly interests me. I'm okay waiting for the next day's setup. So I wanted to create this video because I know that a lot of people have been telling me on the channel that they've been taking these trades and they've been winning with the trades, which is great. It's one of the reasons why we put it out there. Is hopefully it's just one other thing that you can add to your um, kind of to your tool belt, and hopefully try to extract some type of money from the markets. So it looks like we had a pretty strong um, down candle at the open of the 8 a.m. session. Um, Not of the market, but of the session. So, as you know, my strategy is from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time, and then 9 to 10. So we had a big one. We are in an inside bar right now. So I mean, the next bar would probably be a setup. We've got a minute and 15 seconds left for this candle to finish. So we'll see where price action goes. Where you would be wanting to, if this was to materialize, we would be looking for a trade to pierce the top of this candle and then at the bottom of this candle. Right now, we don't really have a bottom or the top because the candle hasn't finished and this can go anywhere. Um, but just for, and I have to have my lines straight. I can't stand crooked lines, and it looks straight to me, but we'll see. So we got 27 seconds left on this candle. Um, we're probably going to activate into a trade here. So let's see. Let's try. Let's see what happens here if we take this. So I would put my take profit, or I would take my long position. Looks like we might get a short here now. So we got an inside bar. So based on strictly strategy, this system would, just based on strategy alone, we would this would be a valid trade for us to take. Now, the only reason why I don't like it is because today is such a strong oil news day that you see some pretty big moves, some wicks. There's a lot of big money makers that are kind of positioning themselves in their positions. So I just don't like to be I don't like to be a part of that scenario. So let's see here, and this also looks like it would be a pretty big. Let's say here, 24 points is not a lot of risk if we were able to get in. It's not a huge amount of risk. So 24 points. Okay. I'm gonna keep that there just to see, and then let's see what happens here on this candle. Another thing too I wanted to mention is I typically have always, prior to start making these videos, I've always taken these trades in NinjaTrader. I like the charts in TradingView. I mean, they're fantastic, and I can trade this through my TradeStation account. But the part that I don't like about this is I don't like the fact that I have to be doing these orders here manually. So I'm going to do I'll do a buy order at the top of this candle right here. And then, so in my Ninja, I could do kind of like an OCO order where I could put a buy and a stop. I could put my stop right now where it's at. And then once I get activated one way or the other one cancels out. I can't do that. Well, you can do it in TradeStation if you've got a lot of margin. And since this is a small account in TradeStation, I think I only have like $3,600 in there. Um, Prior to the open, margin requirements are pretty high. So just 4 micros is taking up a pretty good amount of that margin there. So I can't put in another order to short just for that reason. When I'm in NinjaTrader, it's so much easier. I could put both of them in, and I could just kind of set it and forget it. This in TradingView, and I'm only doing this here to show my channel and to show the subscribers, um, you know how what the setup looks like and what how I'm trading this every single morning. And again, I will say normally I do not take this trade on a red oil day. Okay, so we got into the trade. I will set my take profit to plus 24 ticks. I like to call it points. I mean, I'm, let's see, that's not right. So if I take it down to here, so that looks better. Okay, so right there. 24 points is my stop loss, which is the bottom of your source candle, which is our first candle right here. Okay, so from your entry to the bottom of the source candle, that's your stop, which is 24 points. And I am looking for 24 points of profit. So I will take this order and move it up to 24. So I'm risking $96 and I'm looking to make $96, 1-to-1. And right away, we're pretty much halfway into drawdown, and it's typically these are more momentum plays with the inside bar. You get there's some indecision in the market, and once you get a decision one way or the other, usually you get a pretty good thrust. And this I don't really like the thrust that I saw here in the morning, but in this session. But let's see what happens here. If we go back to yesterday's trades, posted a video on those trades yesterday. So we had a trade here. Took this one and recorded this trade. This was a nice, pretty easy trade, straight down. and that was our morning session. The afternoon session did not get any trade opportunities, so we had no real inside bars on that second opportunity there. Hopefully these videos help you guys kind of understand, I guess, kind of what I'm thinking. And you know, I like to read the comments. I like to respond to as many comments as I can. There's some interesting things in there where people have some ideas on how to make this strategy better. And guys, listen, I'm open. I'm looking at your comments. Again, I don't like to start trading things without back testing them. So if there's something in there that's interesting, I will back test it, and I will see how it performs over time. And oil, I guess all markets are finicky, so there could be periods where oil is just absolutely ripping, which we have been in that we've been in that kind of mode with oil now for a few months, where there's sustained moves, big moves, and as we know that in trading you need that. It's that's kind of what you need to kind of make things work. So but the markets change. They change all the time. So it's not. You have to constantly be back testing it. There was I think I had one subscriber that said, let's how about a runner after, let's just say right now I'm going in with 4 micros, and we're about halfway to take profit here. Let's see if we can get filled at our take profit. That would be awesome. That would be a win. So he's like, let it pierce, right to your. It looks like let's see if we get 92. So just a few ticks. Ooh, that one hit it. Okay, so there we go. So that was another win this morning. So just I guess even on some of the red news days, you can still you know, this strategy still works pretty well. So that was 24 ticks points of profit. I come from trading the S&P, the ES, and the NQ for 3 years, and I still trade them. So I like to refer everything as points. I know that in oil it's different, but just it makes things more simpler in my head. So you guys hopefully can understand what I'm trying to say. But now here's an interesting. Let me take these off of here. Okay, so a few things that some people have suggested is, what about a going in, let's just say, with 4 contracts or 2 contracts, and taking one to our predefined 1-to-1 risk reward. So in this case, it would be 24 points. And then letting the second runner just keep going, and then have some kind of maybe predetermined, maybe a 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2 risk to reward on that second contract as a target. I haven't tested that. What I did test was different types of risk to reward, but like as a set target, not with secondary targets. And I have found that the 1-to-1 is definitely the best way. It was the most profitable, let's just say that, over a long term. What other ideas have people had that I thought were interesting? So that was one. You could, somebody else was, after maybe 50% of your take profit. So in this case, we're looking for um, 24 ticks, 24 points of movement, and maybe after 12. So after 50% of your target, you go to break even. Okay, that could be a kind of a way to avoid some risk. Again, I'm not sure over the long term. Yeah, it can help you avoid some risk, but at the same time, if you're getting stopped out just for this thing to just keep gripping up, even saving some risk isn't going to doesn't mean that it's profitable. So that's the big key. And I will I promise you guys that I will take a look at running those different types of ideas and try back testing them. Now, as far as the length of back test, you can go, some people go a month, some people go 6 months, some people go a year. Here's my problem with going out way too far is that the markets are changing so quickly. There's so much going on right now that the markets are changing, and you almost need to be in I would want to say like a 90-day window to kind of stay relevant as to what the market is doing, maybe even a little bit less. What I personally do, and one recommendation that I would say for you guys in your own trading would be to back test any strategy that you're doing every 30 days. That to me is a pretty responsible thing to do, just for your own funds that you're putting out there. And it'll help you evolve as a trader. You're going to start to feel more confident in your trading system, which is super important. And even here, good example. This thing ripped. Actually, we were in drawdown when we first got in. We were in drawdown. Ripped up, came back down a little bit. There were some points there where we were a tick or two away from hitting our take profit. You start to see maybe a little bit of a drawdown. Normally, if you don't trust your system, sometimes you get out. And I'm not saying to get out with one or two ticks away is not a bad idea. But over time, those ticks start to add up. Those points start to add up. And for a strategy to work, you really do need to let it do you need to let it do what you have tested it where this is what it should be doing. So hopefully I make sense with that. It's a very hard, I don't know, should we call this a skill? I'm not sure if it's a skill or if it's confidence or if it's trust in your system or if it's just experience, trading. But as I mentioned in yesterday's video, this thing will, in the past, I would have gotten out. I'm at halfway profit. I get a push to 3/4 of my profit, 75% to my end goal. And I just see a little bit of drawdown. I'm out. That was me. That was me as a trader. And on the flip side, if I was up a little bit, get a reversal, it's starting to go to my stop loss. I'm 50% to my stop loss. Before I didn't even have a thought of getting out of the trade. I'm like, no way. I'm this thing's going back. This thing's reversing and I'm going to get my take profit. And just to see that thing go all the way down and hit your stop loss. That was me in a nutshell, trading. That's just, and over time, let's just say you're on a 1-to-1 risk to reward. okay, which the strategy is. And to be honest with you, majority of my strategies are pretty much based on one to one. I do have an NQ that's a little different, but well, it's actually very different. But if you're on a one to one risk to reward and you're constantly always taking your stop losses, so you're always taking that one R of risk, and you're only letting your 1R of reward 60% of the time, it's, man, unless you got a strategy that's 80% or 85% win rate, you ain't going to make money. You might think that you might think that you're doing okay because you're having some wins, but if you don't let your target to that 1R get there, it's very hard to make money in this game. And that's just something that I have learned, and that's why I don't get nervous with these trades. I truly don't. Um, and I would watch a lot of YouTube videos where people were trading like in hindsight, which I guess if you're going to teach somebody the system, you kind of need to do that just so you can show day by day by day. I'm a little bit of a different, um, I have a different thinking about that where I'm trading cash. This is TradeStation right down here. You can see it on my screen. I'm trading a cash account. I am trading, it is 8:27 a.m. Central Time on the 25th. I took this trade here with you guys. So, win or lose, you're going to see what this strategy, what this thing does. Okay? And it's pretty easy. I mean, you can start looking at these and doing this for yourself. I mean, see if this thing works or not. So, you start watching a lot of these YouTube videos, and they're trading in hindsight a lot of the time, and you see these huge 1 to 3 risk to reward strategies, and you see them taking full take profit. They're staying in there even though they're up big. Well, I'll tell you the one thing that I take out of a lot of those videos is I don't know if they had the balls to stay in there during that real, if they would have the balls to stay in there during a real trade, but showing me that those moves, if you believe over your testing period that you have a certain amount, you have a certain target that your move constantly makes, then stay in the trade till you get it. Stay in the trade. And yes, will I do a video where we're a tick or two away from our take profit and this thing reverses all the way down, and not only do we lose the 23 ticks downward, but then we're down another 24 for a huge swing? Yes, it will happen. But over time, taking full targets will outweigh and will outperform the rare instances where you're a few ticks away from your target and it reverses on you. There is some gurus out there, some trading gurus that are on YouTube, and there is, some of them are like, well, yeah, I have a target, but if I feel that the market is going against me, I'm happy to take my money out for a profit. A win's a win. That's what you hear that a lot. Well, what do you mean by feeling? What do you mean by I feel the market is turning? Man, I could look at a chart of the S&P or the NASDAQ, and I could feel like the market's going to go up and down 150 times per day. Because your mind is saying, okay, well, there's there's resistance right up here. This ain't going to go past resistance. Well, got right to it. I mean, that was a great target. But your mind will talk you into a lot of stuff. And again, the less subjective that I can make my trading, I think the better I am as a trader. Hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully you get some value out of this. I will see what the 9 a.m. session brings us. My only concern there is that there is going to be a lot of red news, especially on the second from the 9 to 10 a.m. play. So just be very careful. I am not going to trade it. Just be careful on, just in general, any oil inventory days, any oil red news days. Just be careful with it. I took it here this morning just to kind of see what the strategy would do. I took it with cash, and I got my full take profit. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully you guys are finding some value in the videos that I am putting out. So please make sure to like, comment below. I read all of the comments, guys. I try to answer or respond to all of the comments that I can. Most importantly, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me and keeps me, it keeps me motivated, obviously, to do more videos. And I like talking these things out with my channel. So I'll see you guys soon. Happy trading.